here with Kansas City Chiefs legend JJ Birden. JJ, thank you for coming on the show and just speaking about your experiences and just getting your thoughts on everything going on in today's team. Maybe just start off right away and ask how are you doing?
Hey Ed, thank you. No, one, it's thank you for the opportunity. It's always nice to talk about Chiefs and just kind of what's going on and what's happening. But I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Just living life, getting older. I got an anniversary coming up. My 34th wedding anniversary is next month, and we have two grandchildren now. So I'm grandpop. So playing a different role of family, but I love it and things are good. We're out here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the wedding anniversary and the grandchildren, and you look great. I mean, I thought you could still be playing right now, so let's just put that
Yeah,
out there.
that's the goal, to fool everybody that I look like I could still play, but that's not the reality.
But I do want to just jump into it. Obviously, you have in your career, you just I'm going back to college. Your experience in track and field and the speed in which you play football. There's another player that the Chiefs actually just drafted by the name of Xavier Worthy, first round pick. Similar qualities in terms of obviously breaking the record in the 40-yard dash. When you see the Chiefs go after a player like that, what are your thoughts immediately?
Well, one, he was my dream pick for the Chiefs. He was the guy that I wanted. And I think once I saw him run that 40-yard dash, and then I went to the internet and YouTube and I started analyzing him myself because I wanted to see, was this just another fast guy who couldn't really play the game? But to my surprise, no, fast guy who can actually play the game. And being I was a wide receiver, you quickly recognize if a player has the skill set, the natural abilities to do, the different techniques that wide receivers need, and to have that speed too. And I was so excited because I know the power of having a player like that in the Chiefs offense and the potential of what it could do to just the explosiveness of the team.
Definitely. And you hear all the comparisons. Obviously, Tyreek Hill was one of the more recent guys. You talk about track and field and what he's done. I do want to go back to you and where your career went. You started off doing track and field. You became an NFL player. You went through your tribulations. Was it tough to make that transition from being a track star to now playing in the NFL?
Well, I don't think the transition from track to football wasn't difficult because I had always played football. I had always been a wide receiver. So catching the ball, running routes, and all that was pretty, you know, was easy for me, so to speak. The challenge was making it to the NFL where it's a, you're playing against the best of the best, and I'm going against bigger DBs. And the other thing was that everybody doubted I could play at the NFL level. Even when I got to the NFL, I kind of felt like I was just mystery track guy, but I didn't really think the teams believed in me. So it was really overcoming that underdog mentality and showing them that I could play. Now there was an adjustment. There's always a learning curve. And as you know, I was 5'10", 157 pounds. So people labeled me as too small. So I had to overcome certain I say prejudices, so to speak, but I was able to do it. And that's one of the things I tell the fans. I'm like, don't worry about Worthy's weight. He's 165. I was 57 pounds. Don't worry about that. If he has good coaching and he really puts in the work, the weight is not an issue at all.
And that's interesting because you played during a time where it was a lot more physical. There's
Yeah.
a lot less rules in regards to the receivers and how physical you could be. So, yeah, that's definitely a big change.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was going against, guys like Deion Sanders, who could be very physical, Darrell Green, Rod Woodson, and they were very physical, much bigger than me. And then going over the middle and having to worry about getting hit by Ronnie Lott and Steve Atwater. But today they don't have those worries. So I think it's a little easier for wide receivers. So yeah, I'm trying to get the Chiefs fans just relax. He'll be fine.
I definitely hear that. And obviously, not just Xavier, but all the receivers that any receiver that joins the Chiefs know they're going to be playing with a three-time Super Bowl champion, two-time league MVP. You have your own experience playing with a Hall of Fame level quarterback. Can you just describe how it was playing with Joe Montana during his time in Kansas City?
Yeah, playing with Joe was something special because here you're getting the opportunity to play with one of the best of the best. And when he joined Kansas City, he was in his 15th year and had already won 4 Super Bowls, achieved all these accolades. But I've always considered myself a learner. And right away, I'm thinking, like, okay, success leaves clues. What can I learn from one of the greatest? And I certainly did. And I think what impressed me the most about Joe was he came in with an attitude like, okay, how can I make the Chiefs players and organization better? And that's what leaders do. They lead from the front. Joe came in, he studied like a rookie, he prepared like a veteran, and he led like a pro. And it lifted all of us up. And that's what I see in Patrick Mahomes, even at a younger stage in his career. He is a leader, and leaders lead from the front and they make everybody else better. So it gets me excited to see, Hollywood Brown, and obviously Worthy and everybody else, because Patrick will play a role in making those guys better because they will see they need to step up their game. Because when Joe started throwing me curl routes and comebacks and goes, I realized that I got to be quicker out of my break. I got to be better top on the schemes and stuff. It just made me better as a player.
Definitely hear that. And just when you watch those games back when you were playing and the chemistry that you had to pick up quickly with a guy like Joe Montana, do you feel like there's any intimidation in not only because I know you say you have to step your game up, but is any intimidation like, oh, if I drop this pass, maybe I may not be on the team or things of that nature? Because we saw last season the Chiefs led the league in drops. This was a big concern heading into this season, trying to fix the receiver position. Do you feel like that matters in regards to the psyche of the receiver when they're playing with a guy like Mahomes and his resume?
I think that's a normal response because, yeah, I wanted to play at my best. I'm thinking Joe Montana's used to playing with guys like Jerry Rice and John Taylor, Hall of Fame as far as Jerry Rice and John Taylor maybe one day. So when Joe came in, I wanted to make sure he didn't feel like there was a drop off. And so there was a little bit of pressure, but at the same time, there was motivation for me to work harder, to work more on my routes and catching the ball. And I studied more film and I was more prepared in the game. So I think for players, like even the Chiefs wide receivers, there's a balancing act. Yes, you want to play better because you're playing with Mahomes, but that should motivate you to spend more time mastering the basics, mastering the fundamentals, not being overconfident, so that when you go in the game, you know that you and Mahomes will be on the same page. You just get out there and do your job.
Definitely, you did that throughout your career. Just because you said you played 9 seasons in the league, when you was going into your final season, did you know that would be your final year? Did you feel like this was probably it?
Good question. And my response is a little different because Ed, I never expected to play in the NFL. It was never the dream. As you know, my background, it was really about the Olympics. I was trying to make it to the Olympics in the long jump. I qualified for the 1980 Olympic trials in the long jump. And then when I tore my ACL at the Browns rookie camp, that's kind of when everything shifted. And it wasn't really till that second year with the Browns I thought, okay, I can play in the NFL. I really focus on it. So when I made it, every year was kind of a gift. I was like, man, I'm here. It's year 4. Wow. Let's see if I can get year 5. And then it was 6. By the time I got to the ninth year, I thought, man, I got to do something that nobody in the world thought I could do. I never thought I could do. I'm vested as far as retirement. I was ready to make the transition. So I kind of felt like that last year in Atlanta, this is probably going to be my last year. And I remember I hurt my knee and then I went through rehab. And when I was 100%, I thought, you know what? I played 9 years in the NFL. I'm relatively healthy. Let's transition to the next phase. So I always wanted to kind of walk out on my terms. And that's what I was able to do. And I tell you, it was tempting because I received calls like from, I think it was Chicago and Seattle and New Orleans. And I told my agent, I said, I'm done. I don't want to hear who's calling. I don't want to be tempted. I'm done. And I walked away.
Well, that's actually good to hear sometimes when someone says they walk away on their own terms, because you always hear it's usually injury related or things of that nature. So that is something that's definitely a positive. I do want to ask, obviously, from your career, is there a moment that sticks out to you the most? Like, is there like a win or a game that sticks out to you the most in your career?
Well, I think it has to be my first NFL touchdown, which took place October 19th, 1990. We were playing in Seattle in the Kingdome. Steve DeBerg was the quarterback and had a 33-yard touchdown. I think that moment stood out to me the most because that was a 3-year journey. That was a 3-year of adversity and setbacks and rejection. And the year before, Dallas Cowboys had me on the practice squad. I was there all year, and Jimmy Johnson's like, go do something else. You can't play in the NFL. So I had all these moments of adversity and rejection, but I never gave up because I knew I could play. I just needed to get healthy, and I needed to be in the right situation. And even that third year, the Chiefs cut me for 2 weeks. I was at home, but Marty said, I'm going to bring you back. And he did. And then I scored the next week. So that moment was so special because I felt that was that culmination of I made it. I'm here. I've proved to everybody I can do this. Now let's go have a career. And I went on to have my career. So I think that moment, because of all the setbacks and the challenges, that I never gave up and I just kept plugging away. And I knew I'd get the shot at some point and I'd prove I could do it.
Definitely. You, like I said, you speak with so much motivation, and now with your life after football, you've become an amazing motivational speaker. Was everything that you went through just that, like, to help, I guess, pass that knowledge on to the next person? Was that such an important factor of like everything you went through your career?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I juggled the idea of coaching. And even when I was with Kansas City, I used to coach in the off season. I was a hurdles coach at Lee Summit High School during the off season for 3 years. And I would run with the kids and they were helping me stay in shape too. And then I coached high school back home and track and I dabbled a little bit. But I realized, Ed, that I wanted to help people, more people, not be stuck in one sport, one community, one group. I wanted to help the masses, not just athletic people. I just felt that through my journey and what I learned in my journey to the NFL, there were so many simple success principles and winning strategies or life skills that I could share with anyone, anyone who wants to achieve certain goals. And that's what drew me to becoming a professional speaker because I get to do that. And I love it because I'm taking lessons from NFL and then I'm relating to business professionals and what they can do to achieve their goals. So I just really love it because I have the freedom to create content that I can speak on from personal experience and teach others in the audience.
And that's really amazing. And it's definitely something that's needed in the world today with everybody dealing with different things. So I definitely understand that. And JJ, before I let you go, I have to ask, 'cause I spoke with a guy you matched up against a couple of times, Tim Brown, obviously with the Raiders for many years. He said that the games he played at Arrowhead Stadium, that he had to tape the ear hole of his helmet because of how loud the crowd was. But he said he loved that the fans were so passionate. I kind of want to know from your side, on the home side, how great is it to have Arrowhead Stadium on your side?
It's awesome. It really is. Knowing that when you walked in Arrowhead Stadium, you're going to have 80,000 people in red cheering for you, celebrating with you. And you felt sorry for your opponents because it was loud, especially when the offense had the ball. And I was so glad that when I went to Atlanta that we never played in Arrowhead because I didn't want to play there as an opponent, but it's one of my cherished memories because every time we played, Ed, I just wanted to get in the end zone and get that place rocking and celebrate with them. So it's really cool to see the consistency today as Arrowhead fans are still rocking, they're still having fun. And obviously there's a lot to celebrate as we have a pretty amazing Chiefs team that's doing some pretty amazing things.
Definitely are. And JJ, you're doing amazing things. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Congratulations once again on your anniversary coming up. And we look forward to hopefully in the future getting you back on the show.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it, Ed. And I'm just excited for the Chiefs season. I believe that three-peat's coming. I
Mm.
said it Three-peat's coming. Watch everybody.
I'll put that as the headline right away. JJ, thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Take care.